help us here. Lori is here. She is the author of Marry Him, making the case for settling for Mr. Good Enough. Lori, look, feel my pain for a second. There are a lot of lonely men out here who are good guys. But women and this list, it's maddening. Make the argument at the center of your book, please.
Okay, I'm not telling anybody to settle for somebody that they're not totally in love with or physically attracted to or anything like that. The book is based on a survey where men and women were asked if they got 80% of everything they want in their ideal mate, would they be happy with that? And women said, no, that's settling. And men said, 80%, I'd be thrilled, that's a catch.
The way men and women look at things is so funny. There's such a huge difference in how we look at life in general and our partners.
That's because men just want someone fit and that's they're content.
No, it's not that. It's I think if it's a partner, obviously you want someone that's attractive, but there's so many criterias. Like when I watched this video, I went and asked a couple of people, and it's only gotten worse now. This is 14 years old. I asked the guys, and almost unanimously, it was like the most basic shit. He was like, "Yeah, I want it to be pretty. She doesn't have to be like Margot Robbie, but I want it to be pretty. I just want it to not cause me trouble. I want some peace." I asked the girls. I had to stop someone and be like, "Can you stop? I haven't got all day." Endless list of I want this, I want this, I want. I was like, for fuck's sake, man.
It's okay when describing what you want to name all the attributes that you want. It's not necessarily to say that if somebody came along that didn't tick every single box that you wouldn't give it a chance anyway.
But that's what the survey is asking you. Would you give it a chance? And the survey was like, no, it's not enough. Like if I asked you the same criteria that I asked the guy, chances are is that the guy is going to say, yeah, that's good enough. And you're going to be like, no.
80% I think is high though. And I think 80% is realistic. So I wouldn't bunch myself in the same category as the people who are saying, no, that's not enough. It is settling. I don't believe you should settle. But I also think you need to be realistic and reasonable as well. Like, people say you can't have it all. And then some people are like, but yeah, you can have it all. I'm torn between that one because you do see some people who have got like, I don't know, someone they're attracted to, someone that has good qualities, someone that they're compatible with, and they just seem so happy in love. But it's very far and few between. I don't know. It's a tricky one, but it is interesting. But when I was younger, my brother used to say to me, he used to be like, oh, describe to me the sort of guy that you want. And every time I'd say a different thing, he'll be like, right, so that's narrowing it down to now the world population to 60%. Now, then I'll say something else. He goes, now you're down to 40%. And he'll keep narrowing it down. He'll be like, so you're down left now to the 1% of the world who fit your criteria.
Yeah, but I do think, and I don't mean to sound sexist when I say this, but I do think that whole Prince Charming idea is really instilled in girls' heads when they're young. And I think that's why it gives a lot of girls unrealistic standards of what their partner's going to be. See, I don't look at it as settling.
I disagree.
Someone might say to me that, but she hasn't ticked all your boxes. But I'm not really looking at it like a boxes thing. There are things that you're going to get from certain partners that you won't get from others. It's not necessarily a negative or a positive. Everyone brings different things to your life, and everyone has like a different style of like being in a relationship. And I think, especially when I look at it, I literally just want somebody that I can laugh with. And, I don't want a woman that's like a bum. I want someone that is like going to look after themselves to some degree. And, I just want peace. I don't particularly need her to be a 10 out of 10 either. I just need someone that I find attractive. I don't care if the whole world finds her unattractive. And, we have a laugh and we just go about our day. But I'd find it very hard to find a woman that would say something like that, because that would be seen as settling. But I don't see that as settling. I don't know what the word is, but I do think that a lot of the girls I spoke to were just overcomplicating it.
Yeah, but the thing is that I think a lot of girls do overcomplicate and say things, but when it comes down to it, I think they actually do compromise and not essentially settle, but settle on certain things that they thought was a non-negotiable for them. Do you know how many girls I know that say that when they first meet a guy, they weren't really interested, they weren't really attracted to him, but then once they got to know him, like they fell in love with him and they're now attracted to him, because personality does make a difference. And you could see that as them compromising. It's not their usual type of what they'd usually go for, but
I don't think that's compromising. I think that's being enlightened. you thought a certain way, you've met
No,
this
but
person.
your initial attraction is not there. You need to be physically attracted to someone. So it is compromising.
Well, okay, if you're not actually physically attracted to them, and then you compromise because you like the personality, then yeah, okay, that's a compromise. But when we're talking about long-term partners, there's loads of girls that I might see and be like, wow, she's physically attractive, but that's not my girlfriend. Like, that person is someone that is going to drive me up the wall, or that I don't get on with, or whatever. So there's personality types that I've met before that I thought I'm not going to be able to gel with this person. Then I end up really liking them. And I also found them attractive, but their personality was the barrier. But if you meet someone and you think, oh, no, they aren't attractive, and then their personality makes them more attractive to you, then I guess, yeah, I guess that would be a compromise.
Yeah.
And so
80% of the women you surveyed is settling?
That's settling because, the question is, what actually makes us happy in long-term romantic love? And, that's the question that I explore in the book. And I'm a journalist, so I went out and I asked neurobiologists about chemistry, and I asked behavioral economists about demographics, and I asked marital researchers and divorce
What did they say?
lawyers.
What did they say? What did they say?
And, the thing is, we're too picky about the things that don't matter at all for long-term romantic happiness, but we're not picky enough about the things that actually do matter.
Okay, so break that out for me. What are women? It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple with men. Come on. What are women too picky about here?
Well, I'll tell you, men and women were asked what would be a deal breaker for going on a second date. And men named 3 things. They said she has to be cute enough. She doesn't have to look like Angelina Jolie. She just has to be cute enough. She has to be warm and kind. And she has to be interesting to talk to. Those seem like really valid criteria.
Ding, ding, ding.
That is literally what I just said. I haven't even watched this whole video yet. That's literally what I just said. She just has to be nice enough. She doesn't have to be some knockout. She just has to be a knockout to me. And I just have to be able to banter with her. I just want to have a good time with her.
Yeah, I think she's raising a valid point with people are often looking and pinpointing a lot of things that don't really matter in terms of having a successful long-term relationship. For example, there's a lot of women maybe that are just looking at the immediate thrill-seeking things. So, for example, they might look out for the man that's got like some women might look for a guy who's got status, athletes,
they like power.
Artists, actors, whatever. So they might be looking at the job. Some people might be looking at a guy's income. Some people might be looking at a guy's looks, and then some people might be looking at how the guy treats them. Whereas all of them individual things there does not determine a successful relationship or a successful marriage or leading somewhere. You've got to look at the factors of, is this going to work in the future based off of these attributes? And that's going to be if you genuinely have a connection, if you're genuinely compatible, if you're both on the same page about life goals and what you want to do. You might get with a guy who ticks every box, but he doesn't want to have kids and you want to have kids. It's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it's true. You can't just look at from the offset. Yeah, he's fit. He's got a good job. He's got money. Sold. There's got to be more to it. And the people are looking at often, they're prioritizing the things that actually aren't that important. I think somebody asked the question before. I don't know if it was you or if it was my brother or something. And every girl came back and said, like, what's a main thing about a guy that you want? Or some shit like that. I'm wording it wrong. And it was like, they all said money, or they all said good looking. And then men was just like, men's answers were different, but it's kind of like, they're looking at these things, and these things aren't going to give you a happy relationship per se. I don't know where I'm going with this point,
I hear what
but
you're
I'm
saying.
just freestyling.
I hear what you're saying. Like, good relationships come from unlikely places.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not where you'll be looking in the wrong places.
Yeah.
And I do think people overcomplicate things. I think the most important thing for me when I'm in a relationship is I just want someone to have my back. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm on edge every time. If we have an argument, I don't want to feel like I'm on edge if I'm down. Because, things are not always going to be smooth sailing. And that's not like you two arguing. It's just maybe you have financial problems. And some people always think the grass is green on the other side, and they don't want to ride it out with you.
Amen.
And I actually think it'd be really nice to, because everyone's going to experience downs, and you experience that down with your partner, and then look back one day where like we didn't give up on each other and we came through stronger on the other side, I think that makes much stronger relationships. That's not to say that you should always stick by somebody that's down, because maybe they're down because they've actually done something stupid. But I think that people are too easy to give up. And the other day, because I've been in relationships before, I noticed this thing where you notice little things that people do where you can tell they really care about you. And I was watching the streaming awards. It's like the Oscars, but for streamers and YouTubers and whatever. And one guy that I've been watching since I was like maybe 16, 15 years old, this guy called Maximilian Dude. And he's a fighting game streamer. He's a very like big streamer.
Yeah.
He looks like the lead singer Nickelback.
Oh, yeah.
And he won the Legacy achievement. And his wife, he got on stage, you could hear he was very emotional. And he was like, my wife stuck by me throughout the whole thing. You know, when we didn't really have much, I always said to her, I wanted to do this project. And, you know, when you're starting out, it doesn't always...
Sorry.
You laughing at my
No,
monologue?
I needed to sneeze.
Oh, I thought you were laughing at Max's story.
No. Okay, sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what it looked like? Like you were just checking yourself out. You were like this.
No. I was just trying to hide. You know, you don't want to pull no funny faces.
But he was talking about how he would tell his wife that he wanted to try different projects. And that, you know, when you're starting out, things don't stick. People don't watch your stuff. You put a lot of time, energy and resources in. But she stuck by him. And it's gotten to the point now where he's making millions and he's the biggest fighting game streamer in the world. And I was watching his after stream and she was sitting there with him. And he was there with his boys who have been doing the stream with him for 10 years, right? Just like me and my boys when we get on and play. It's the same thing with them. They started off and no one was watching. And his wife was sitting next to him. And he had the tags on from the stream event. And he's talking to his boy. And you can see her there just fiddling like this, trying to fix him up and get off him. And when people do little things like that, if you've been in a relationship for a while, you can tell they care about you.
Yeah.
She was trying to fix him up while he was there having a good time with his boys and whatever. And those two have like rode for each other for a long time, because I know it's not easy doing content creation, especially with fighting games, which are like a niche in the gaming world. So it's nice to be in a relationship with somebody and just work through things rather than getting with somebody who already is established, they've made all their money, and now you're sort of like the add-on. I know that's the way that I look at it.
And while we're here, go check out Michael's gaming channel. What is it? At Real Mike Hollow.
It's just Mike Hollow.
Mike Hollow, easy.
Yeah.
Ding, ding. Pretty simple.
Right. Okay, reasonable, right? The women came back with 300 things that would rule out a guy for a second date. And we're talking about like another 2 hours and maybe a free dinner. And they wouldn't do it. And there were things like he wore a brown belt with black shoes. Or we were having a really good time and I thought he was cute and he was interesting, but then he did this Austin Powers impression and I just can't get that out of my mind and I can't go out with him again.
That's pathetic. That is pathetic, and that's me. If I go to a dinner date with you, I might just do an impression of a character. No, I'm not on the first date. That's crazy. But it's a bit lame that like looking back at a video 14 years ago to see that these icks. This is the original ick, right? And now 14 years on, it's only gotten worse because the amount of people that are single now is like gone up exponentially, because everybody's so picky. You can't just meet somebody and be like, okay, we don't like do everything the same and we don't see eye to eye on everything, but we can work towards it because we like there's an attraction and we like each other. Instead, no, what if this person hits me up, or what if this person's here? And it's just like get your head out of your ass, man. That's how you grow old on your own. I'm not saying that you should settle either. Obviously, if there's someone that you absolutely think is like not for you and they've given you enough reasons for that, then that's fine as well. But
and don't entertain them though. Don't drag it on.
Yeah, there's no need to drag it on. There's no need to like drag people through the mud. But at the same time, like people drag themselves through the mud. They'll stand there and they'll judge everybody around them. They'll have 300 reasons for disliking them. And all of those reasons could probably be attributed to yourself. Or not actually in a lot of cases, because some of these people that have the problem with all these people are just boring. There's nothing going on. You have a problem with everything they're doing because you do nothing.
Okay, here you go.
And
so,
you know,
can I make your other point, and then I've got another quick one for you before I lose
was
time.
just going to say, Austin Powers guy could be the love of her life. If he does these impressions on the second date, okay, don't go on a third. But maybe he was just nervous. The guys who are bad first daters might be great life partners. You don't know.
Okay, let me make the other argument. You have to have a list, Lori. You have to. You just can't run around dating any Tom, Dick, or Harry. You have to develop a list,
but you have to have the right things on your list. They have to be the right things. The character things, is he kind? Do we have the same life goals? Do we have the same values, the fundamentals? Do we enjoy each other? How do we communicate with each other? Somebody said to me, this woman that I was really interested in wouldn't go out with me because I didn't read the same books that she did. But she's madly in love with this guy who reads the same books, but he doesn't call her when he says he will.
All right, here we go. Very quickly, we asked folks to send in some thoughts at our blog. Kim writes, I have found my Mr. Close Enough. I realized that I wasn't going to find a perfect man, so consider whether my mate's positives outweighed, I'm trying to go as fast as I can, outweighed his negatives, which they do. Julia says, kind, caring, and crazy in love with me. I think that is not too much to ask. And Jackie, hey, Tony, I'm 55 years old, and I live on the coast in Washington State. Our area is quite depressed, so it is hard to find a guy that matches my qualifications. I am looking for a guy who has teeth, a car, and the job.
Look, I do agree with everything she's saying, and I think it's true. A lot of people could be missing out on the one by not giving people a second chance over small and silly things. And I think if you actually give people a chance to see if things do blossom and grow, or if you are compatible, then you got nothing to lose but something to gain. But everyone is just too quick to close the door onto the next, and you're never going to build a real connection if you're just trying to have first dates or whatever with just loads of different people.
I think it's quite cool to get with somebody that has opposite interests to you, because you get to indulge in things that you wouldn't otherwise do. When I say opposite interests, I don't mean like they don't want to have kids and you do. I mean like the silly things, like maybe you watch different TV, or you watch different films, or you eat different foods. If you're open-minded, you can be like, okay, well, I like this person at their core, but we do different things, so I'll indulge in what she or he likes doing. I think people are a bit too close-minded. I mean, I've had a lot of girls, well, not a lot actually. I've had girls say to me, I wouldn't date you because you either like anime, or like you and your friends are nerds, or what was that one? I don't like guys that are into UFC and boxing because they're violent or whatever. I've had stupid things like that, but I haven't had too many people saying, like, that hasn't been a reoccurring thing, but I've heard it before. I was just like, why don't you just give it a chance? Like, it's you don't even have to watch it. You just have to not disrespect me when I'm watching it. Like, leave me to watch my stuff with my boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of I really don't want to sound cringy as fuck right now. But yeah, like the good things take time, slow and steady wins the race. And I think that's the same when building a connection with a human as well. It's you that whole instant spark, I find, fizzles out really quick, and it's the people who are more the slow burners that will end up having a much longer successful relationship, because they've really taken time to get to know each other, they've built on something, and then it's turned out the best. Like if we both made a cake and I rushed to make it and you took your time, yours is going to come out better than mine, no doubt. So I think it's the same when building a connection with someone. And I now want to go and watch this film because it looks right up my street.
I don't know what it's called, but...
No, you need to find out and let me know, because you can't do that.
I'll find out. But I think people that fail together and stand back up and keep going, I think that they are more likely to have a healthy relationship. But unfortunately, that video is from 14 years ago, and the dating landscape has only gotten worse. It's gotten worse, because of dating apps. Dating apps are the bane of the existence of the dating world. And I do think that people are just, they just can't commit. The lack of commitment, maybe down to social media and all of we have so many things at our fingertips. So many girls have turned to OnlyFans. So many guys have turned to subscribing to OnlyFans. Even in Japan, they were talking about how they're just not having children anymore. And it's sad, obviously, to see the rate of loneliness go up, because the rate of depression goes up with it. I don't have a cure for it either. I'm just saying it is what it is. I don't know how to circumnavigate that whole situation. But I think people should be more open-minded. I don't care if somebody comes from a completely different walk of life from me and watches different things to me, and just does different things. If I can get on with them at their core, and I'm attracted to them, then there's something that can be built there. And if you're both open-minded, it can work out. You don't have to like the same things. You just have to not be disrespectful about it. I like indulging in things that I'm not familiar with. Like if I get with somebody and they like doing something completely different. Like I got with a girl a long time ago who was into horse racing. And I was just like, horse racing? What the fuck am I going to do here? But I was like, do you know what? I'll give it a try. I'll go watch the things.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I got into it.
There you go. You can't knock something till you try it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'll knock it.
I can knock anime because I tried it.
You tried Attack on Titan. We're not done
Still
with you.
anime.
We're not done with you. But what I'm saying is that, like, I'll knock loads of things, but I'll also be like, okay, well, I've been talking shit about it. Now let me see if I'll change my mind. But I like to experience loads of different things within reason, obviously. No one comment any gay shit. No one comment any gay shit.